Hello everyone and welcome to Divine Debut. This is Kathy speaking. Thank you so much for being here. This is your Astro update and you are very much appreciated. We're on the precipice of a new moon in Pisces. As you can see, I have run the chart for the new moon in Pisces, which will be happening on the 13th of March of 2021. This is Greek time here, 12:20 p.m. on the 13th. It will also be at 2:21 a.m. Pacific for all of you out there that are listening. So a new moon we know is a brand new seed, a seed that we can plant. Happy birthday if you're having your birthday on this new moon or very even close to it. It's a new moon, and new moons on our solar return on our birthday are wild cards. They're very, very lucky. So it's very much amplified for those individuals. Now, a new moon is for everyone, obviously, and we all have Pisces in our chart in a certain area. For those of you that are familiar with your own charts, you would obviously know where Pisces sits in your own natal birth chart. Anyway, this is a really interesting new moon. It's supposed to be very magical, very special, as we've got the sun and the moon coming together, obviously, for a new moon. Pisces is ruled by Neptune, and Neptune is right here with the new moon, and as is Venus. And Venus conjoining with Neptune, very magical, very imaginary. These are very creative energies that we can work with. We know that the new moon takes on the signature of Pisces. What is Pisces? Pisces is can be very emotional. Remember, it's mutable water, so very changeable. As mutable signs, they like change, they don't mind change. And we know that Pisces, being water, very psychic, Pisces can be very compassionate, very loving. It is a time of forgiveness right now. Remember that Venus is all about love, money, and things that we enjoy. Okay, Venus right on Neptune. Very loving energies, very much about giving, sacrificing, loving, being there for others. But obviously, for those of you that are into the creative side of things, Neptune is imagination. It can also mean illusion, but it can also mean, those higher realms. Very much about divination and godly matters. Remember, Neptune is very spiritual, as is Pisces. Pisces also has another side, though, Neptune. It can be very much about confusion, deception, okay? Things that are of imagination. Those rose-colored glasses, that's what Neptune and Pisces are all about. This could be a new beginning that you're having, let's say, with a love connection for some of you, where there's more to what meets the eye, more to what is practical. It's more about those loving, dreamy energies. Neptune also rules dreams, so pay attention to your dreams. As always, in the time of Pisces, we get a lot of rain, there's a lot of water there, sometimes too much water, too much emotion. Poseidon, Neptune, he rules the seas, and a lot of us know, I don't know if you've heard, but the tide has been very, very low recently with how the planetary movements and configurations have been up in the sky, and we know that they obviously reflect, the sky reflects the energies on Earth, and we are earthly beings and not only are we earthly, we're also very divine. We've got that other higher self where we connect to spirit, we connect to the planets, we connect to the divine. So it's as though we're in, you can imagine we're in a boat, we're in the middle of the seas, right? And sometimes there is a chance of drowning. Too much water, too much emotion, too much imagination, too much deception. This could speak of all that magical, beautiful, creative energy, love that we can tap into, but it can be also the opposite. Now, mostly I would say that this new moon is more magic and more loving than the opposite. But remember that Neptune can go either this way or that way. We can be deceived as well. So take everything with a grain of salt. Know that if you're starting a new connection, a new relationship, you may see it as much more magical than what it really is, because there are strong imaginations. There's, those higher realms. There's a lot of magic in this new moon. So new moons, remember, planting that seed and watching it grow. We had, a couple of weeks ago, we had a full moon in Virgo where we had the sun in Pisces and the moon was right opposite in Virgo. That was more of a, we were taking up both signs, the axis Pisces and Virgo. Can say that we can be in the imaginative, elusive Piscean energy, but we've also got the healthy balance of Virgo. Now, of course, this can play out because Virgo is right opposite, where someone could be tapping into the Virgo energy and seeing things from a different scope. But because we've got the sun and the moon, where, the moon takes on the light of the sun and we're seeing something that we can obviously start. We've been doing the work with the full moon in Virgo. Now it's all about imagining, planting those seeds, but with a sense of love, compassion, forgiveness, and imagination. We're creating. That's what Pisces is all about. But what is interesting with this new moon is that if you remember back to the 14th of December of 2020, where we had a solar eclipse in the sign of Sagittarius. Now, solar eclipse is a new moon. That was happening at the 23rd degree, 23 degrees and 8 minutes of Sagittarius. So it would have been somewhere here where Juno is sitting now, the asteroid of commitment. The way they connect is through a square. We know that all mutable signs such as, Pisces, Virgo, Sagittarius, and Gemini. This is the mutable cross, right? So mutable signs are connected through squares. As you could see, we've got a square from Juno. Juno is in a square to this new moon. So Juno is the asteroid of commitments. So a square is obviously turning a corner. Now that solar eclipse left its stigma, therefore the 23rd degree, which would be somewhere here, and Juno is right on that. It's right on the memory of the last solar eclipse that happened for us on the 14th of December of 2020. This new moon is scratching that eclipse point. And why am I saying it's scratching? Because it's a square, and a square means something needs to be done, something needs to be worked on. We're turning a corner. Remember, it's not easy. The positive is with squares, as I always say, is that action will be taken. So we've got the expansive Sagittarius here, we've got Juno, and the South Node is not far off, which means something karmic that we need to, we remember a solar eclipse, we started something here. maybe started, something that needs to complete now. Remember that new moons come after a full moon, so we've closed a cycle on something, and Pisces, of course, is the last sign of the zodiac. Therefore, it's ending something major so that we could start something new. Just around the corner on the 20th, so a week later, on the 20th of March, we're having the beginning of the new astrological year, okay, as the sun is at the 23rd degree. So if another week to go, the sun will be ingressing into Aries, okay, and Aries is the beginning, a brand new cycle. So we could say that this could be the beginning of the end, or we've made space for a new beginning, a new magical, creative, loving, and compassionate new beginning. Okay, and this is, for some of you, this could be you tapping into your spiritual self. It's very creative for all things related to the arts. Pisces is the feet, and the feet can mean dancing. Pisces, we know, is water, and water flows, okay? And all the arts are contained within creative energies, right? So, as I said, Pisces is the feet, so dancing, Venus rules music, things that we love. We've got creation here. We've got absolutely beautiful energies that we could be tapping into, but we've got the strain of this square, where those of you that have not been able to manage a situation now with concerning commitments, I would say, something that you've needed to shed from your life. Remember that an eclipse, we eclipse something out of our life to make space for something new. Now, for those of you that have not been able to do that, as I said, we're ending a major year, an astrological year. So therefore, Pisces can also be a very karmic energy, where if we have not dealt with a certain karma and we've swept it under the carpet, we will go another round as the sun is preparing to ingress into Aries. So starting a brand new cycle. Okay, if the lessons have not been learnt, the karma not dealt with, we will be having another round. Okay, so we know that Venus in Pisces is very magical. She's very giving, can be quite sensitive as well. Those of you that are thinking, oh my God, why does this always happen to me? Why do I always get the short end of the stick? If you're seeing things from the dark side, from the negative side, that's not helping you tap into the abundance that could be here for you. You have to believe. Without belief, where you're pushing your luck away, don't do that. Be very positive. Remember that. Start meditating. Take some time alone. Pisces is all about quiet. If you're feeling trapped or imprisoned in any situation, then this is the time to do the work. The celestial energies are very helpful. Remember that with energies such as these, it's as though the skies are open and they're ready and they're listening. Anyway, so what else do I need to tell you? Interesting that Mars is coming up towards the North Node. Mars in Gemini is very much about moving forward. Remember, Gemini is the twins. It's where the North Node is. It's about coming out of not being able to move forward as Mars was transiting through Taurus, Earth. Mars likes to be in Gemini. It's air, and it's mutable air. Someone is trying to make a very important decision, and it could be pushing them towards what is fated. Decisions made now because Gemini, remember, is dualistic. It's the twins. They will be very important. Now Mars, as soon as Mars will touch on the North Node, obviously it will be affected by the South Node as well. So again, being in opposition to something that we need to shed, we could come towards, remember what I always say, that the North Node is difficult. It's because it's very new. And this is on a collective scale, but also for our own personal journeys. Humanity is moving towards their fated path, as well as on our own personal journeys. Something is happening now. We're facing that North Node, so that could be a little bit of a difficulty. And for some of us, it could have to do with our commitments, with our marriage, our long-term commitments. Remember that we've still got Mercury in Aquarius, and Mercury in Aquarius is very intelligent. This is the messenger of the gods. He's in the sign of the human. Remember that Aquarius is all about the future. It's social media. It's having those important conversations, doing things differently, maybe within a group. Aquarius is all about wishes and dreams. We've got Jupiter still here. Jupiter, which brings expansion. Mercury's passed over Jupiter. What happened for you then? Not long ago, let's say a week ago, 10 days ago, we had Mercury, the messenger, on Jupiter, which expands. Jupiter is all about spirituality, but it's also about truth and justice. What was going on for you recently? Remember that Mercury is the left side of the brain. It's the logic, okay? But Aquarius rules the right side of the brain. It's the higher mind. There's great intelligence here. And we've got the student with a teacher. Some of us have gone through a certain learning curve here recently. Okay, now Saturn is still in Aquarius. It rules Aquarius. So Saturn is sort of checking up on what's going on. Saturn is more modernized in Aquarius because remember Aquarius is ruled by Uranus, which is still transiting through Taurus. It's more modern and open-minded, but Saturn still is very much about the traditional, the old ways of doing things. Capricorn, remember. So people are starting to look at things from a different perspective, maybe through a different prisma, a different way of seeing things. Pisces, remember the hanging man. The hanging man, he has to change the way he's seeing something, and therefore he receives the light. He's enlightened. So therefore, just with the hanging man, I'm going to stay on that card, and it was in today's reading, today's divine spread. And it was right on that King of Pentacles and that Knight of Wands. Remember that the King of Pentacles is the Taurus energy. Taurus is fixed earth. And fixed earth, they don't like change. Aquarius is also fixed, but it's air. It's a little bit different to fixed earth. All the fixed signs don't like change. So Aquarius, Leo, Taurus, and Scorpio, they don't like change. Therefore, it's hard to get them to move. Now, when we've got, let's look again, let's just imagine the hanging man. It's all about sacrifice. It's all about having done the work. You've been hanging there, waiting, being patient, being compassionate. You've been giving selflessly. How long can you keep doing that is the question here. Now, you've been enlightened. Any difficulties that you've been going through on your own personal journey, you have been enlightened, or you're going through that now. This new moon in Pisces should show you whether your sacrifices, will pay off, or whether you're waiting there and you're wearing those rose-colored glasses. Maybe you haven't seen the light. Maybe you will be seeing the light, or maybe the person you're dealing with will be seeing things from a different perspective at this time. It could go either way, because the sun, as soon as the sun ingresses into Aries, well, the moon, of course, moves faster. They will be transiting over Chiron, who is in Aries, and this could mean a solution to close up that open wound, the wound of thyself, the wound of a self-worth. So I'm not good enough for this. I don't fit the bill. Or I've been raised to think that I'm not capable of doing this, beginning this, going on that. Remember, starting that new cycle. We had, in today's reading, we also had, we had the Fool, we had the Aries energy. And, well, Chiron can also mean healing. Okay, so remember that obviously the moon will be transiting over Chiron as we're moving through the energies of the new moon, sorry. So new beginnings, okay? New beginnings, and we need to trust in our abilities. Take that risk, take that leap of faith. That's what the Fool does. And that's just around the corner, as I said. The 20th of March is the new beginning, the new astrological year, and I've got a major announcement that I will be making, so tune in, stay on Divine Debut if that is what interests you. I'm really excited to bring you something new that will be starting on the 20th of March. Stay tuned for the announcement. Okay, Uranus is still transiting through Taurus. Remember, Taurus is our values, it's the physical body. Uranus can be quite nerve-wracking. It's the nervous system, it's radical, it's very fluctuating and changeable and very scientific. Remember that Uranus rules Aquarius, both fixed energies. Uranus is here to bring change to the Taurian energy. Whether you're an Aquarian, whether you're whatever sign you are, you've got Taurus in your chart somewhere, and Uranus is transiting through Taurus. Now, Taurus can also mean money, your values, what you own, what you're surrounded with, the comforts that surround you. Uranus can be very changeable. I see it as a tower moment. I have spoken many times about sudden changes where money and investments, with your investments in general, are concerned, whether it is anything monetary or anything to do with your values, what you own. That is what is happening with Uranus transiting through Taurus. Now, Uranus here is connected in not easy aspect to this new moon, and also it's connecting again very closely with Neptune and Venus. So when I see difficult aspects concerning Uranus and the new moon here, it's like someone is trying to bring change. So it can be quite surprising or quite shocking with Uranus connecting to this new moon. Okay, could also be, I see it as a bubble bursting for someone, and a bubble bursting is someone's imagination it's like a tower moment where those rose-colored glasses are suddenly coming off. So that could go either in a positive way or in a negative way, depending on who you are. All right, now, of course, we've got Black Moon Lilith here in Taurus, and as I always say, she's not an easy entity. She's in sextile here to Venus and Neptune. So sextile is helpful. So there's helpful energies out there. What are you going to do about it? A sextile means you need to take the initiative, but Black Moon Lilith, which can be difficult, the sextile says obviously that she's not as negative as she usually is. So something that is difficult won't be as bad as what it could be with a difficult connection to Black Moon Lilith. Anyway, everyone, we've got Hygeia here, right across Pluto. Well, it's quite a wide orb. Pluto is at 26. Hygeia, concerning health matters, is at 2 degrees of Leo. So it's not exactly in opposition, but remember that Pluto can mean transformation and change. But again, an opposition is a bit of a tug of war. It's like two people on both sides. Who's going to win? We need to have a healthy middle ground for an opposition to reap the rewards through an opposition, because it means, yes, you're in opposition, okay? And an opposition is never easy. Anyway, I just wanted to mention also that we don't have, apart from Chiron transiting through Aries, which Chiron is not a planet, we have no planets in fire at this time. And fire is all about life. It's taking action, right? So there's a bit of, that fire energy is missing. So we're looking forward to the sun ingressing into Aries, which is cardinal fire. It's all about things moving forward. Now, things have already started moving forward as soon as Mars ingressed into Gemini, because, of course, Mars rules Aries, which is fire, but it will be different. It'll be totally different from the 20th of March onwards. Now, a lot has been going on in the world. Still a lot of lies, deception, unknown matters, people trying to pull the wool over your eyes. Certainly, 100%. We don't know what to believe, what not to believe. So we've got a saying in Greek which says, take a small, like when you go to pick fruit, take a small basket, because if someone is promising you that we've got trees full of, let's say, fruit, cherries, don't expect it to be totally true. So again, take everything with a grain of salt. Do not believe everything that you are being told at this time. Always look at things, look at what you actually see, look behind the scenes if you can, and come to your own conclusions about what is really going on, whether this is the world matters, or whether this is your own personal life. I'd love to hear your comments on what's been going on for you. We've had all tide has been really low in Greece. I don't know about the rest of the world. I'd love to hear your comments on that. I do know that there's been earthquakes and tremors all over the world. Volcanoes have been erupting. Earthquakes happening everywhere. The world is in a tangent. What is going on? What is going on? Anyway, I think that the light is trying to come through the darkness. That's what I think is happening. I feel that there is, just like the planets, remember how I've been talking about Saturn squaring over with Mars, connecting to Uranus. This square obviously has broken up, as Saturn is now at the 9th, almost 10th degree. Uranus is at 8 degrees, but remember that as these planets will start to retrograde mid-year, we're going to have a back and forth where these squares will be happening again with Saturn and Uranus. Something is trying to, it's as though we've got explosions at the bottom of the tower. Someone is wanting to bring down this tower and rebuild it. In the macro and in the micro. right? So we've got this sudden surgence of energy beneath this tower that keeps being pushed. The tower wants to come down. It needs to come down. And that's why we've got Uranus squaring with Saturn the whole of 2021. It's going to happen. We've had the first square, we're going to have another square mid-year, then we're going to have another square end of year. And Mars will be also activating Saturn and Uranus during the year. I have given some dates in my past Astro updates. Please check those out if you're interested. But what I know is that the tower has had its first explosion, the first round, the first battle, as the gods have been battling the Titans, clash of the Titans. So whatever has been going on up there in the ethers is being reflected here on Earth. And yes, I know we're still going through a lot of difficulties, but we've seen some specks of light. We're waiting to see more, as the light will soon come through, everyone. So hold on to your horses. Things will happen in due time, and hold on to your hats. Put that seatbelt on, as the ride is still continuing, and it's going to pick up pace very soon. So good luck to all of us, to you on your own personal path. Good luck to the world. I know we are being looked after by spirit. We need to believe that. Don't give up on anything unless your higher self tells you that it's time to close the door on something that you've been waiting for years and years to come, and it hasn't been happening. Listen to your higher self. That's the only advice that I can give you. And remember to send your wishes out to spirit as the ethers are open and they're listening. All right, everyone. Sending you much love, much light, lots of love, and don't stop believing in magic. Love you all. Stay tuned. Thank you for liking, sharing, and subscribing. Talk to you soon.